We keep on getting comments from that American abuse school. Don't know what we want to do with it. Yeah.
No.
Let me. But again, I don't think we mocked it. But if I can try and bring up the.
I think at no point did we say it wasn't horrific.
Yeah, it's just like. Again, we don't know how legitimate these are, but obviously we believe they are. Oh, okay, cool. I'll read out the comment because it's always good to respond live to the comments. Again, it's just interesting because you go, I didn't think we'd get these kind of situations. Yeah. This is from Stephen Jones. That article barely scratches the surface of what they put us through. The light sessions, for example, were often accompanied by sleep deprivation and virtual isolation, sometimes lasting days. The underwear checks, no, not bathing suits, were not really about modesty, but rather about humiliation and degradation. The place was run by a known mind control cult called the Community of Jesus, which still operates to this day in Cape Cod. Cape Cod, not God. I know you're laughing about it, I get it, but seriously, it was horrific. We're not, just to be clear, whatever we got a dark sense of humour, but it's like, it is genuinely horrific. It's perfectly fine, but it's just, unfortunately, through our own horrific lives, tend to laugh at the horrific to try and normalise. I guess that's what it is. Yeah. The Community of Jesus.
Yeah.
Mind control cult.
I wouldn't it's a fairly unassuming name.
Yeah, it's a community.
I think
everyone loves Jesus.
All kind of religious stuff has an air of sort of brainwashing about it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Mind control is an odd term. I accept brainwashing. Yeah. Mind control though feels like telekinesis.
Well, you thought, maybe that's what they were doing. They were trying to teach through the art of wheelchair Patrick Stewart, whatever he did. I can't remember. Yeah. Weird college of people, and they're trying to. What was it? He could read people's minds from his basement.
He's a hero. Yeah.
He's got a good hat on. If he puts on his virtual reality headset, he just looks into people's minds.
Yeah.
It's not a weird show at all, is it? X-Men. Always probably good. But it's good that we're getting out there, reaching people who've genuinely been involved in the stories we've been interested. I don't know if we can help. I doubt it.
We've been doing this for nearly 5 years now. We've definitely been recording it for at least 5 years because there were the lost weeks that never actually got published. But I would have assumed that we'd have more interaction with fans than with victims by now.
I think we have. Well, I talk to our fans. I've got a community of people that I talk to. I just tell them, don't speak to Steve. He doesn't like it.
You can talk to me. Go ahead, try.
All right, so everyone, let's bombard Steve with messages this week. Good heartfelt, horrific hate mail messages. That'd be great.
Yeah, at Sing It Steve, go for it.
Oh yeah, an Instagram, make it a multimedia collage experience. That'd be quite fun.
Yeah.
No, but so we don't get much interaction, to be fair. But again, we're both quite we both get quite uncomfortable when people trying to talk to us. And it's not. I don't know. I thought of an example today. I was watching some BBC comedy sketch, and it's just the small talk. I don't react well to it. So if someone's if someone rings you up and say, oh, it's lovely weather we're having, I just want to choke them. You'd be like, why? I mean, sure, but why are you telling me this? Why is this the we could do anything right now, and you want to talk about the coalition of clouds? Don't know. I don't understand. So it's I react quite violently to a lot of pithiness. I guess it's pithiness. Is that the right word?
Yeah, just
small, giving people immense joy from doing the minimum amount of effort.
Yeah, it's sort of I don't know. No, because it's a bad example. I was going to say it's like eating popcorn or something. It's like it's kind of nice, but it doesn't do anything. But you quite like popcorn, so I was trying to think of something that works.
I take it to an extreme.
You eat nothing until it becomes something.
Well, it's just like...
But you know what I mean? It's like airy. It's not there to fill you up or anything. It's not nourishing. It's just there.
Well, it's just I like to put a lot of energy into stuff, and so when small talk is the opposite of that, it's like filling silence due to awkwardness.
Yeah.
I'd rather intensely encompass the silence.
Well, just embrace silent. The awkwardness of it. Let's just stare at each other.
Just go off into different avenues. It's like, start that conversation seed and go elsewhere. But when it's like, this is literally just so that someone can be like, oh, do you know that toads can't fly? I'd be like, yes. Next. Or I would just take it. I would just want to throw energy at it, and the kind of diffusion of energy is kind of not really my thing. So I think we've had opportunities. We've had fans. We've chatted to people. But it's been. It's interesting when we get the victims of real life situations being like, it was really, really horrific. We're like, yeah, we know, but it was funny as well, right? Yeah. Kind of. From an outsider's perspective. Maybe. I don't know. The goal of everything, in my opinion, should be to laugh at the horrors of life, because there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
Speaking of someone who's witnessed some of the horrors of life, it's helped me. Maybe it can help somebody else.
Yeah.
So it's episode 256. We've been
257
doing
actually, isn't it?
Bits. I don't think so. There was a weird kind of double check. I'm going from your uploads, and the last episode you uploaded was 255.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming it's 256.
No, because you were editing this week.
Oh yeah, so we're episode 257. We're going to get the intro right eventually. But it's at 257. How are you, Steve? How are you?
I'm fine. I'm great. It's good to know that everything that we're doing has such purpose. Good. I haven't made any notes this week because it feels like it feels like I blinked and suddenly we're recording again. But I think maybe that's just busyness. Got a new phone. First time I've had one that uses your face. Yours use your face?
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
They got rid of all the buttons
inconvenient,
and stuff.
Really.
I like having a big button.
Yeah. I thought it was more secure. I thought it was more easy to do.
I only had it today. It probably is more secure, and it probably is easier and more convenient. I'm just not down with change. It's not necessary.
That's what I'm saying.
Like it only had one big button. Why did you need to get rid of it?
Well, it's button phobic, isn't it? That's what I'm saying. Is like it felt more secure with the button.
Oh,
it felt more easy to use with the button.
With the fingerprint.
It took me a while to get used to.
That's just it. Like, what if
face.
I've got I feel like there's more chance I've got there's someone in the world that looks like me than there's someone in the world with my same fingerprint.
Yeah, but I guess you could probably pick a fingerprint. It's not like a proper fingerprint scanner. It's like a rough guess, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Pretty secure, but I imagine if they can copy that.
But also, what about the scenario in which my phone contains secrets that are important to an
evil organization.
An evil organization. I'd rather be in a situation where they're cutting off my thumb than cutting off my face.
Well, they don't have to. Well, they can just hold it up to your face, can't they? I guess. Maybe they're nice. I don't know. But it's all the things that come along with it as well. Like the new touchscreeny feel seems odd.
Yeah.
And lots of trying to switch between applications took me ages to figure out.
Press the button twice and then everything. Yeah. But no, now it's swipe here in this particular way, and then I'll get used to it. It's day one. It'll be fine. And hey, good photos again. So whatever.
Were they shit before?
Yeah, well, I think my last one was an iPhone 6S, so that's 5 years oldish before. And it's like anything. It's like when you get it, you're like, oh, these are the best photos in the world, and then suddenly, a few years later, they're not. Plus, it had all slowed down and stuff. And I found that by the time the camera app had opened, I'd missed whatever it was that I was trying to take a photo of. Because apparently, I'm only ever trying to take photos of things that are happening very quickly.
They're fleeting.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Capturing moments.
I still use my SLR for photo. I've never seen a reason to not use an SLR.
apart
from not having one. It's been like, this is much
just it.
much easier and much better quality.
I like the idea. Now that I've got a dog, which I'm comparing to having a child because it is comparable. Yeah. I like being able to kind of take pictures of him when we're on walks and stuff like that. And I don't like carrying a massive camera with me. My camera's quite big. It's not just like a normal kind of SLR thing. It's big, heavy thing. Plus, it's like, well, if I'm going to take it out, it's a bit of a liability because if it breaks, that's my whole livelihood fucked. So I need to kind of like be more mindful of it, I guess.
You can break all your phones, I guess.
Yeah.
It's fair enough.
Yeah. But yeah, there was that. Went to the pet shop without the dog. She was pretty pissed off.
That's fun.
The woman at the pet shop. The woman at the pet shop was pretty.
You're not
annoyed.
a fucking dog.
Yeah. Where's your dog? Can't come without your dog. I mean, he's at home. Oh. I came to buy stuff for him.
You're just motivating me to not come here, I guess.
Yeah.
I'll just get better quality stuff online.
She was nice. She just wanted to see the dog.
Didn't like you.
Yeah. I bought some hooves.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's it. That's
busy week.
I say
Phone
good week.
hooves.
That was just today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But yeah, we think it's been like 5 days or something. A bit of work being busy, I guess.
Yeah, it's been a busy week. But then that's every fucking week at the minute, isn't it?
Yeah, but you abandoned those kids, didn't you?
Yeah. Finished working with the kids, and started on a new batch
other people's kids
of videos with another company. Finishing off a short film for someone else. It's a lot. It's a lot. I took on far more last month than I was actually was able to do. So it's just kind of just pushing and to get it finished.
Nice.
We're starting to level.
Better to be busy than stressed.
Oh yeah.
That's always good.
Busy with money is fine. It's working.
Yeah, you can get a new another greenhouse if you work hard enough.
Yeah, put that one where there's no sun as well.
Yeah, just pop it on the roof.
Yeah.
Get yourself one of those pigeon collectors.
Yeah.
Be set for life.
Harvested some cucumbers today.
Wow. Life's crazy. Life's living life on the edge.
Yeah. Everything else pretty much died.
But
the cucumbers worked.
They worked.
Well, they grew.
You gonna pickle them?
I think it's down to Vix really what she wants to do, but I think they're being pickled. Yeah.
Gonna have to check out see what the committee says.
Yeah.
Maybe it's pickle season. Who knows?
Yeah. Pickled cucumbers are banging.
That's what a pickle is, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah. Gherkins are like tiny cucumbers, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. But they're like bumpy.
Maybe from all the pickling.
Yeah.
Throw it at a wall before you do it. It'll be good.
How's your week been, anyway?
No.
I never ask you, because I don't want you to seem like I don't care.
It's all right. Stabilising. Just trying to get healthy. Trying to do stuff. Yeah, seeing people. All my friends are having kids, which is like the old cliche. But it's very weird, especially obviously like loads of people I know are like, I would never have. Well, it's not. I would never thought they'd have kids, but you'd be like, I see them as the 23-year-olds with kids.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just great news for everybody. But I've always felt that like when you have a kid, your life ends, and then you have to adopt the life of somebody else, just like some fictional good character who wakes up at the same time every morning, buys milk every Monday.
Yeah.
Just reliability, stability, routine.
You become
that's kind of like
have you seen those? There's a stereotypical thing of like in some movies, like you get a high-powered executive, and then like they've always got this assistant that's absolutely just fucking hates their life, but they're just kind of stuck. And they're just so busy all the time dealing with all of these stupid requests and stuff. Like it's 11 p.m. I need a llama and a beer. Go. And like, well, I'm trying to live my life and whatever, but they don't get a life. That's what it is being a parent. You are
being an intern.
Yeah, you are stuck dealing with the whims of this. I was going to say man-child, but child, just child. That has lots of ideas as to what it wants, but doesn't really understand why it wants them, and is insistent on just ruining your life.
Well, I'm a totally opposite view of it, but yeah, it's always good, isn't it?
No, I understand.
It ends your life.
It's 100%. It's a big commitment, and it is like a life-changing thing. Yeah. You are a different person.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of the time people looking for purpose and not finding it.
Yeah.
And then when you have a kid, it's a very clear-cut, very easy to understand, willing activity. You're like, well, this is the purpose now.
It's because it's what we do. Like, it's what we're meant to do.
Yeah, but it's always funny, like, how different people see it. Because people see it as, like, as you said, kind of like you're at the whims of this child that kind of doesn't know what's going on. Like, the best advice I heard parenting-wise was from a guy who was like, you know, the child doesn't sleep when it wants. You know that, right? It sleeps when I tell it to sleep. Because otherwise, it gets fucked. So, like, he goes like, well, you got all these parents that are like, the baby needs to sleep, baby's asleep. Okay, now we can go do all the stuff that we want to do.
Yeah.
And you go, if you do that, your life's chaos.
Yeah.
So you just go, no, we go to bed at this time, you sleep for this time. You know, there's obviously a bit more sleep for children or whatever, but you go like, no, you're awake at this time, and then we do things.
Yeah.
And then that means you go to bed at this time, and then we do things. And it's not like send your kids to bed early because you don't want to deal with them. It's like, no, you knacker them out, you educate them, you deal with them. But that comes into a whole part of like, yeah, when you have a kid, you gain that purpose. You're like, well, I need to be up at 6 because I need to do my stuff before everyone wakes up.
Yeah.
Then go out and do shit. But yeah, it's a good thing. Obviously, they're good people that I know who are having kids. It's just, it's always like a weird thing. But yeah, I'm trying to leech that kind of intense focus off of some of them. So like, yeah, trying to be a bit more. What I've done in the past many times is just like get right on the focus train and do everything for a purpose.
Yeah.
So trying to get under that.
The thing is, the good thing about the good thing, if you're an unfocused person and scatterbrained and whatnot, and you're going into being a parent, like, it's not like you don't need willpower because you've got no choice. Like, you don't have a choice but to become a better person, become more organized, and become more focused or whatever. Whereas if you're trying to implement it in your life without that kind of force, not that it's more difficult, but it's definitely more difficult to focus and to concentrate because you have a choice. You can get distracted because nothing's relying on you to live.
But that's making the assumption that you don't have a choice if you become a parent. There's loads of people who abandon their kids and, don't give a fuck. But, like, yeah, the assumption is that I think you and I anyway share is that, like, yeah, it's an important thing to be a good parent. Lots of people are like, well, then you got to, and hopefully the stars align because it can happen in such a bad way that there's nothing you can do to kind of deal with it. But, like, yeah, so I've got a lot of people I know are just kind of like, right, yeah, well, I've got to do real things now, which means which essentially starts with you just need to be way more organized. So every day has to have a purpose and an end result. It can't just be like, what did you do on Saturday? Oh, I just chilled. You're like, well, no, that's not good enough. You need to have an actual productive day-to-day life. So, and that's something I definitely embraced at multiple times in my life. So I'll be like, oh, maybe start being more organized.
Yeah.
Try and do that. But yeah, it's interesting. It's just getting in that mindset again. I think The Last Samurai got me into that mindset once.
Yeah.
I just used to incrementally increase the productivity of every day. And then I saw Last Samurai and I was like, oh, I could double this. I don't know why. Maybe I just didn't like Tom Cruise. Well, I could be a better samurai than Tom Cruise. Loser.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's episode 25 something. In the news, we got... to be fair, it's been exhausting as well, like a weird couple of months. Need to get back onto the production train as well. I think that's the other thing, is we kind of like fell into the easy way of doing the podcasts, like over online and stuff. And it's like, oh, we could just kind of bang it out and just keep it alive. Need to revitalize, I think.
Yeah, but it's with good reason. Like the production wise, we are essentially in hibernation while we sort our lives out and do other things and reignite our passion for it, I guess.
Has your passion died?
No. Yeah.
Just needs reigniting. Yeah. Fair play.
No, it's not. No, it's not dead. It's just it's I don't know, it's fitting things in, that's all. And like you messaged me today, I was like, I'm up for it, but I've got nothing, and it's the going from nothing to having something in a short, again, like the podcast is one thing that I'm horribly organized with, as far as
one thing.
Yeah.
I think I've always found
no, to be fair, I said it's one thing, not the one thing.
Yeah. Well, I think as well as I've always been perplexed a little bit with your organisation stuff.
Yeah.
But like, I imagine that, and then when you throw a dog into it as well, that adds more time restrictions that kind of take time to get stabilised as well.
I still haven't been back to the gym since we got the dog. Again, it's finding time in the day. Now, I am at a point now where I think I could just about start, but it will require a certain amount of kind of military-esque precision in the mornings, which I'm not good at. Like, as in, like I'm good at getting up and being about and getting ready and everything. Which is fine, but it's like I'll really easily like fall into a fucking YouTube hole at 6:30 in the morning or something like that, when I should just be getting out and going and walking the dog so I can be ready to kind of start the day at 8:30 or whatever. Right. But then suddenly, like things slip away, even though I'm up and about, and it's like it's stupid wastes of time that aren't things that I don't need to do, but it's like old habits die hard and all that.
Yeah, so like we used to be like the phone thing where it's always like you just get stuck in a phone hole or something online. And it's like, if the military-esque discipline side is that you don't watch YouTube for 2 hours when you wake up, that could be good. I'm not sure how military it is, but it'll definitely help.
No, it's doing things with timings. Like I've tried to. I've written down a number of times. Like, okay, do this at this time, and then this at this time, and this at this time, and then all of that stuff that you're bothered about trying to get done in the morning, you can actually fit into 2 hours.
Yeah.
But there's little bits in between everything where you're wasting time, and suddenly it's taken a lot longer than it should have.
Fair enough.
So that's what I mean. That's what I mean. It's not military-esque, but just being more disciplined.
We'll just stop wasting time in holes, I guess.
Yeah, because I used to read in the morning as well, and I've stopped doing that.
It's a waste.
Yeah.
Reading's a waste. Burn your books. Tell the neighbours you're burning all your books. Throw your armbands on the fire and be like, fuck it, I'm going to cook this egg for only 2 minutes.
Oh.
Never had a 2-minute egg?
No.
No.
Maybe if it was fried or something, or scrambled, but not 2-minute boiled.
Yeah, just get that boiling point ready. Then keep your hand in it when you put it in. Put it in with your hand and just scream at it. 2-minute egg.
Yeah.
Anyway, in other news. But imagine that. The new dog as well takes a while to get stabilised and stuff like that.
It's definitely getting there. There's been a level now where it's all. I can't remember what I talked about last time, but there has definitely been. Like they say with rescues, there's periods of 3 days, 3 weeks, and 3 months, and at each of those marks, you should notice sort of like significant kind of changes in behaviour, like as they kind of settle in.
Right.
And we've not hit a 3-month mark yet. I think it's just over 2 months. In the past sort of 10 days and whatnot, he's calmed down and just kind of leveled out and gotten used to everything. There's an odd kind of change, but it could also be because of his age as well. Like he's starting to kind of not mellow, but like he's coming into himself a bit more.
Well, he's not afraid he's going to be kicked out of the house.
Yeah,
I mean, he feels settled.
Yeah, and he understands what's his and what isn't his now and everything. So it's that shit that was stressing me out on like week 3 or whatever is all it's fine now.
Nice.
It's like, it's now, if he takes a shoe or a sock or something and fucks off with it, or a cushion, it's charming because it doesn't happen very often, and it's just, I don't know, it's quirky, it's funny, but when it's like, when it was like, just take all of the stuff all the time, it was stressful. Yeah. But
yeah, it's bound to stabilise and stuff. And then, yeah, I think we got onto that because it's kind of like easier to kind of slot in a online call rather than me driving for hours and setting stuff up and then camera angles and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But we'll get back to it. But yeah, there's a bit of news this week. Not much. Been a very uneventful week, I think, because of the Taliban just kind of like being a government.
I've got
it seems to be everything.
Taliban-related things.
Yeah, I don't, because that's all I saw, and I don't think I saw anything that interesting about it. But Daniel Stevens, 25, of Blenavon, Torfaen. I don't know what that is.
No.
This happened in Wales, so maybe it's near Wales. Oh. Was found beneath a BMW in a car park on High Street, Caimer Ronda Cynon Taff, on 12th of August. He died after the jack he'd been using to hold the car collapsed. He was trying to steal, part of the car.
Oh, fucking then.
So, like, I don't know how many times you've got, dazedly in the morning, kind of woken up and got into your car and be like, right, I'm going to start my day, and there's a dead criminal underneath you.
Yeah.
You're like, hello?
Yeah.
I think he was trying to steal. I can't remember what he was trying to steal.
Whatever you're stealing, like, if there's a point where it's that valuable and you know that much about it, then invest in your tools.
Get a spotter. Get someone else to help out. And then you've got to split the cost.
Just get a better jack. A jack shouldn't be able to collapse.
Yeah, but obviously, don't blame your tools. Maybe he was doing something wrong. Maybe he tried to steal everything except the thing he was trying to steal. Yeah, and it all just came with him.
Yeah, it's like those Wile E. Coyote cartoons where he's cutting up the branch and he's standing on the bit that's going to fall off.
Yeah. The car's owner told the inquest in Pontypridd that he noticed Mr. Stevens' legs protruding from under his BMW. After finding him with no signs of life under his car, he called the emergency services. So he's not really doing much. Hello?
Yeah.
Give him a kick.
Call the AA first.
Yeah, my car's broke. Some guy's jammed inside it. PC Leah Jeffries, who was at the scene, told the inquest Mr. Stephen was cold and stiff, and she could see that his chest was crushed.
That's right.
That's
so he's
good.
Suffocated, yeah.
Well,
it is suffocation, technically, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. It depends. Because, like, crushed can mean, like, impounded. You know what I mean? It could be, like, the car was in his chest. And you'd be like, maybe he suffocated. But could have also, like, just, like, organs stabbed with your body, I guess.
Yeah.
It was then that she noticed a car jack and a torch alongside his body. So, yeah, he had a torch. He was prepared. Mr. Stevens' friend Aaron Godfrey, with whom he had been living in his... Jesus
Wales.
Christ. Yeah. Inisibul weeks before he died, told the inquest Mr. Stevens had been down and stressed because he needed money for a court case to gain access to his children. While Mr. Godfrey
need
told
money
his friend,
for a court case, so I'm going to steal it.
Gonna go prison. Yeah, just gonna go steal and sell. I can understand. It's kind of like, okay, do
desperate
anything
times,
for your
desperate
kids.
measures, all that.
You get more focused, you get more militaristic with your reading in the mornings, and you go out and you steal some guy's muffler from under his BMW, right, when you got a kid. While he told his friend not to do anything stupid, Mr. Stevens planned to steal a catalytic converter from a BMW because he knew he could sell it. Low levels of tramadol and alcohol were also found in his blood.
Why did he know he could sell it? Just at the pub. You need a catalytic converter? Yeah? All right, give me a minute.
No, but I've got a BMW. You're going to need to buy one tomorrow. So
Just sell it back to the same guy.
Don't know. But I like the idea that because all before that you're like, desperate times, desperate measures, kids. He wants access to his kids, but he's also got tramadol and alcohol in his blood. So it's like he wants that, but he also wants some good old tramadol nights. Yeah. Just to get high and do stuff. But again, not one to judge. I've just never been addicted to those drugs, I guess. But it always seems funny for me. Well, it's not funny, but it always seems, I guess, tragic, but incomprehensible to me that people can be both broke and desperate for money, but also spending that money on stuff that they don't need. So like, yeah, being like a drug addict and, you know, saying they need money and you give them money and then they spend it all on drugs. You're like, so do you need the money or do you need the drugs? Which one do you want? How do you work it out? But I'm talking from a point of personal privilege, not. I just take those things very, very seriously. Yeah. But yeah, in other news, this wasn't really a funny thing. It's just something that I found quite weird. New York City is having loads of storms, like hurricanes and shit.
Okay.
And so loads of people who live in basements are drowning to death.
Oh.
Like, it's one of those weird things. It's like, I don't understand. Like, America has like Tornado Alley, and a lot of the houses built in Tornado Alley are made of wood.
Yeah.
So you're like, are you making them out of wood because of it's cheap, or are you doing it because fuck it, this house can burn to the ground, I'll just build another one out of wood?
Yeah.
Or do you not just listen to the Three Little Pigs or the whatever it was and build your house out of bricks?
Yeah. Or maybe it's that the house is going to get fucked either way and it's cheaper to repair the wooden one.
Maybe, but then why not like invest in tornado-proofing your house? I guess
just live underground like a mole person if you want to live there.
But then you get drowned by all the water. You know what I mean? Just live in a tree, really big tree.
Move.
Just bunker yourself. You know what I mean? I don't know. It seems odd, but yeah, in New York, and I kind of say in New York City because like it's there's not much real estate, so they like fuck it at a basement. I thought I would have encountered more houses with basements than I currently have ever experienced. I think maybe 1 or 2 houses have had basements.
Yeah, not many. Yeah.
And it feels like that would... I mean, I think I did look up briefly. It's surprisingly cheap to extend a basement into your house.
Oh, yeah.
But there's lots of restrictions to how far the walls of the basement can be from the boundaries of your property.
Right, got you.
So, like, it would be like it wouldn't be like, say your floor plan was your living room. You couldn't have a basement that was the size of your living room. It'd have to be, like, more narrow.
So, yeah.
But, yeah, I was surprised that, in a country that has storms regularly, and New York City has regularly had storms as far as I know, like, to have basements that are bound to never be flood-proof enough, and for people to live in them. Seems odd.
Well, I don't get why. How come you drown? Like, why don't you get out
from
fast
upstairs?
enough?
I guess maybe you're asleep. Don't know.
Yeah, but even if you're asleep, it's only you're going to
YouTube
wake
hole.
up when it gets to bed height, right?
Maybe they're in they just woken up. They're in a YouTube hole, and they're just like, I'll get round to it.
I'll do it. Yeah. Yeah.
Do it in a minute.
Dog's still crated, drowning.
Yeah. Well, it's not that many people, right? Apparently 11 people have been confirmed dead in New York and New Jersey, in addition to 6 in Louisiana and Mississippi. So it could just be, they had a heart attack and fell in the river. I don't know.
Right.
But it's not that many people. But yeah, it's just weird to have basements that aren't completely flood-proof, which you can never really be because you can't predict the world. But have it in a storm states. But yeah, loads of people without power. Winds reached 170 miles an hour. Like, is that a lot for a wind? I guess it is.
Don't know.
Faster than Usain Bolt in it, I think.
A bit. Yeah.
Load of Usain Bolts running around. They've deployed the military, which is always funny. There's a storm. Deploy the National Guard.
Yeah.
Shoot in the storm. Well, they also deployed all the drones, which is funny. 170 miles an hour. Fuck
the drones? Fucking stupid.
Well, no, it's a response, right? You got to figure out the damage and where to send people.
You wouldn't fly a helicopter in a hurricane.
That's true, but
like
that's
a big,
because
heavy
there's people
thing.
in it. Yeah, but like with the remote control RC little drone. I guess once it's died down, maybe that's what they're saying. To help assess the damage. So I guess like send people out to see if they can figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, weird having basements in storm countries, especially and houses out of wood in a very windy place. Another interesting.
Just to note on that, 163.7 miles an hour is the fastest tennis serve.
Oh, so it's good. That hurricane's faster than tennis, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
15 love. Fair enough. In other news, I think this was in England. In England. The Attorney General, I didn't know we had those in England, has been asked to review a sentence given to a right-wing extremist for terrorism.
Right.
So someone's been given a sentence for right-wing extreme terrorism. Ben John was handed the 24-month sentence, suspended for 2 years at Leicester Crown Court. According to the media reports, the 21-year-old was also ordered by a judge to read classic novels like Pride and Prejudice, then return to court in January.
Go read a book.
Terrorism? Have you even read Pride and Prejudice? Go read it, come back, then we'll deal with this.
Yeah.
In a letter, campaign group Hope Not Hate asked for there to be a review of this case. So the Hope Society was like, we would have hoped you would have condemned this terrorist for more than reading a book and suspended sentence. John of Addison Drive, Lincoln, was found guilty of possessing a record of information likely to be useful to a person committing or preparing an act of terrorism. So he had a book, something like, not the Hitchhiker's Guide, what's the other one? The Anarchist Cookbook.
All right, yeah.
Maybe he's got something like that. The offence under the Terrorism Act, which has a maximum sentence of 15 years, was brought following the discovery of a computer of a publication containing diagrams and instructions on how to construct various explosive devices.
Okay. Yeah.
Lincolnshire said he also had 68,000 documents downloaded on hard drive, which contained a wealth of white supremacist and anti-Semitic material. Oh. I think that's, again, he could be totally innocent, but I think that's part of we can prove that something weird's going on that we disagree with when he's got 67 or 68,000 Word documents with just, we hate Jews. All right. During the sentencing hearing, Judge Timothy Spencer is reported to have asked, have you read Charles Dickens? Have you read Jane Austen? Or Austen? Start with Pride and Prejudice and Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities. Shakespeare's Twelfth Night. Think about Hardy. Think about Trollope. On January 4th, you'll tell me what you've read and I'll test you. This is a terrorist. The guy... It's like, I don't know, say you did a bit of building work when you were young, right? And then forever on in the rest of your life, you're always like, oh, that flue's a bit dodgy. I could probably fix that for you. It's been a while, but I can probably do it. I like the idea that this guy was just an English teacher once, and now he's like a judge on terrorism cases, but he's still like, I want to give you a B, but I can see you've cheated, so go away and read it again, and then we'll do a retest, and then on parents' evening, and try and sort something out. The open letter written by Hope Not Hate's chief executive stated, a suspended sentence and a suggested reading list of English classics for a terror conviction is unduly lenient for a crime of this nature. Yeah, I think so. If it was a properly severe sentence and a reading list, maybe he's just trying to help. The guy loves reading. He's got 68,000 documents.
Yeah.
He loves to read. But he just hasn't read much Twelfth Night.
No.
In other news, I'll explain why I think this is funny afterwards. It's not funny because of minorities. Richard Brumby's lifeline is horse riding, but since the pandemic began, he's been unable to take part in lessons. Mr. Brumby of Spondon, Derby, became fully blind when he was 18. He loves horse riding, blind. He's also deaf, sure, and has autism. His first lesson back was a success, says his coach. So he's a blind and deaf guy. I don't give a shit or care or understand whether autism has an effect on horse riding, but being blind and deaf, I can see having somewhat of a hurdle to jump over, right?
Yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, like, you're not allowed to drive if you're blind and deaf. I think if you are you allowed to do. I mean, like, I think you could. You may be allowed to experience the horses in the same way that you can swim with dolphins if you're blind and deaf.
Maybe,
but like, I wouldn't put you on one.
And then as well,
and then
I guess,
send you off into the woods.
Yeah, just go. But I think legally deaf and legally blind can mean that you can still see, but not to a certain level.
Yeah.
But I don't think it says fully blind. He's fully blind and also deaf. So I'd imagine he's blind and deaf. But the way that, and again, this isn't like a criticism. It's just interesting because how do you teach someone or how do you guide someone to horse ride when they're fully blind and deaf?
Well,
they use. What do you think they use?
I don't. Like some
fully
kind
blind.
Of weird kind of shock collar.
I think that's genuinely what they use.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, like they call it a buzzer system, but a buzzer system, he's not going to hear it if he's fully deaf.
No, but it'd be like a vibrate thing or something.
Yeah, it'll be like. Yeah, just like he's some kind of VR person that somebody else is riding the horse. Just gives them vibrations on one side, so he turns to one side, and vibrations on the other.
I mean, the advantage of trying to ride a horse in that condition as opposed to trying to like drive a car is the car's not going to stop you driving off a cliff. Like, but the horse is somewhat sentient, and it's not going to do something that's going to hurt it.
Yeah, I mean, when a horse is running around a horse
you're not going
to
have to tell the horse to avoid trees, for example. It will just do that.
And then it could just be in a safe environment, right, where it's like there's no other things to go by.
That's dull as fuck.
When a horse goes around a horse racing track and it sees like a white gazebo, it's like, oh, that's weird, but it doesn't think that like, oh, that's the execution tent, kind of. It has some sentience, but not full sentience. But again, it's more interesting to me to be like, how do you do that? Oh, you just like vibrate them around to do that, and I guess that would kind of work.
Wire them up, yeah,
and then like the Wi-Fi goes down, and then I don't know, something terrible happens. I don't know. In other news, Wally's Quarry has employed a smell counsellor.
Smell.
Yeah, the stench of this landfill is giving the surrounding area mental health issues. So the landfill has said, well, it's time we got our own personal counsellor.
Is that local?
Yeah, it's Staffordshire. Wally's Quarry in Staffordshire.
Yeah, so there's one, I think there's one in Newcastle that people have been complaining about for a long time. And like for a few days a week, you'll get just this stench just drifting across the town.
And it's like, I totally get the complaints, but like, what do you want them to do? Do you know what I mean? It's like, you can get more technology, maybe, like a heavy financial investment to try and do that, but it's literally just a pile of garbage.
Yeah.
So like, it's not that, I mean, what do you want them to do? People whose depression is being linked to bad smells from a landfill site are being offered counselling from a full-time professional. The charity Mind and an NHS trust have advertised for a dedicated role to support neighbours of Wally's Quarry in Staffordshire. The site has been the centre for thousands of complaints about odours for several months. The quarry has said it's working to resolve the matters. But it's like, well, I mean, we're getting rid of it, but there's more coming in. Yeah. What do you want? This is a terrible place for a landfill. We know, but we're here. What do you want?
Well, I don't think there's a good place for a landfill.
Well, I guess like further away. I guess it's kind of like if it's just a place of dumping stuff, then there's no good place. But if it's like, look, we're going to pile it all here and then sort it. It's like, maybe there's just a bit further away. Yeah. Don't know. But yeah, it's got its own personal counsellor now. Oh. So someone, you smell bad. Oh. It seems it seems like that's the way the quarry's trying to resolve it. Is like, well, we can't invest in solar power or something crazy like sending it to the moon. But it's like, well, we can just like hire a counsellor to see if it stops people's feelings from getting hurt. Your feelings hurt from this smell. Yeah. I totally understand how it could be.
It's how they fucking do it, though. It's the same as I got pissed off with the water companies around here doing that because they sent us this pack through. It was like, put this in your toilet and then glue this egg timer to the wall in your shower, and every time you have a shower, turn it round, and that's how long you've got to have a shower, and you'll save this much water every year. In the meantime, all they've done is worked out it's cheaper to send us that shit and get us to save water than it is for them to fix their fucking pipes.
Because the water's not getting to you.
But no, because there's tons and tons of wasted water that just falls out of pipes and into the earth, of cracked pipes that should have been fixed and maintained and whatever over decades, that they've just completely ignored. And rather than fix those, they send everyone in the county like little packs of teaching them how to save water, because that is cheaper to do that than it is for them to fix the pipes. When I understand we should all make an effort. No one should be wasting water. I get that, but that's not why you're sending this shit. You're sending it because you're shirking your responsibilities, because it's easier to tell us what to do.
Is that an assumption, or is that like
no? Like they did like
it's like they could do both, I guess. If they're not doing the other one,
fully on board with doing both. But they've done a bunch of studies of how much water gets wasted, and they worked out that more gets wasted by just disappearing through broken pipes than we would be able to save as a populace by enacting these measures.
And they've said they don't want to do that.
But no one's going to make them.
So, like I say, is it an assumption? As in, is it assumed that they're just not bothering with it, or are they actively saying it's not worth the investment?
Well, they're not saying anything.
Right. Okay.
I would say it's definitely assumed by critics, because the water companies aren't saying, well, we're not going to fix shit.
Because they are saying they're not going to fix it.
No.
Okay. Cool. But yeah. Like, if it was both, then I think everyone would obviously be on board. But yeah, if it's just like, instead of doing that, let's make the peasants have shorter showers. It's perfectly capable of doing.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we're filling up our hot tub 4 times. Fuck you. We're irresponsible.
Oh, a feel-good story. A genuine, I guess, feel-good story. But it's something that I don't understand. It's a genuine good story. Johnny Sanders has said that he's noticed a number of litter pickers working separately around his town of Shifnal in Shropshire. He decided to set up a Wombles group to bring them together, and now has more than 330 members online. He first began picking litter about 18 months ago when, as a runner and dog walker, he started noticing more and more litter around the town. That's good. Community, wanting to clean up his community. It started off as a way to curb my anger, he said. I don't get that.
You don't get angry when you see people dropping litter?
Not to that extent.
I think if you were in and around it every day...
But then I would go attack those people, slaughter those people and all of their bloodline, leave a message on their door with a knife written in the youngest child's blood, and be like, "Don't litter." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, if you're angry, it feels really weird to be like, it's like a Footloose moment where you're like, when you get really angry, instead of like screaming to the heavens, you go and like pick up crisps.
Yeah.
Do you know
I don't know.
mean?
Like, I get pissed off when people don't pick up their dog shit. Like,
so you go like that, right? You go, okay, I can understand that, but to resolve that anger, do you go and pick up their dog shit,
no.
or would you feel better about it if they picked up their dog shit?
I would only pick up their dog shit if I already knew where they lived, so I could throw it at their house.
Exactly. That feels like the way that you would curb your anger with it, is to be like, deal with the situation. You're not angry that there is litter. The anger is the seeing people litter. That's where the anger is. It's a shame that there is litter. And yeah, sure, clean up the litter, but not out of anger. Seems odd. But maybe I'm just a twisted person. People have a horrible habit of bagging their dog poo and hanging it in trees. And that really did wind me up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's like to another extent. I mean, like, I've never had any issue with picking up dog shit, but like I imagine people's initial reaction, the actual revulsion, is the picking up of the dog shit, not the putting it in a bin.
Yeah, but the thing it happens so often that you're over it by day one.
Well, it's just if you were going to be disgusted by it, you wouldn't pick it up at all.
No.
I could see that as like, oh, people, again, get over yourself.
Well, the ones
that's the wall, not the I'm going to pick it up and decorate this tree with it.
Well, the ones I've heard about for that though are people pick it up and bag it, but they're like going on a long walk and it's meant to be like a circular. So the idea is when they come back around, they'll get the bag and then bin it rather than carrying it all the way around the walk with them. But
if you were going to do that, why hang it in a tree?
I don't know.
Like, put it by the side of the path.
Yeah.
And even then, carrying... most dog shit bags are scented. I've never smelt dog shit while I'm carrying a bag of dog shit. But I'm quite tall.
Yeah, you are further away from it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I have to hold mine higher because he still has a tendency to snap at it sometimes, which is gross.
Well, that's why they put it in the trees, I guess.
He's caught it once, and then he looked at me like I poisoned him. Like, I didn't make you eat it. You knew what was in it. You've just watched me pick it up. I'll go one further. You've just watched it come out of your arse.
And like the hikes that I go on are quite sparse for bins.
Yeah.
And like, it's been a whole community paper thing about it, but like, it's still not a big deal. You carry a tennis ball.
Yeah.
Like, you can't carry a bag. Like, just chill out.
I mean, I was walking around Cannock with the dog a few days ago, and like they, I think they
around the chase.
Yeah, they employ like a stick and flick method.
Okay.
Which is a thing apparently in national parks, wherein if the dog does it at the side of the path, or anywhere like that, you just leave it. And they don't care because they have such a problem with people leaving these bags around that they're like, fuck it, just leave it, it'll rot down. But if the dog shits in the middle of the path where people are likely to walk into it, you find a stick and flick it into the hedgerow.
Big golf enthusiast down Cannock way. Yeah, fair enough.
Which makes sense. Like I get it, but it's
sure
again, but it's that. Well, why are you incapable of carrying your bags?
I found it weird that you can't put dog shit in compost, like for the recycling.
Yeah,
I found that weird.
Well, they're all composting bags as well. The ones that we use anyway.
Even without the bags, I just had a wheelie bin full of dog shit, and they were like, "No, like, but it's compost. It's garden waste, right?
Yeah,
it's the same." So yeah, I thought that was weird. But yeah, anyway, lastly, the same about this dog walker with the dog shit trees. Keen Walker, a member of the Wombles group, said it's an excuse to go out in the countryside and pick up litter. Yeah, but do you need an excuse to do that?
Yeah.
Apart from picking up litter? Just doing it. I found a 2005 crisp packet, a 2009 crisp packet, and last week I found one from 2011. Blowing across the middle of a field along a public right-of-way, where it has been for the last 10 years, I don't know. Cheers, Mike. You're the same person who said you need an excuse to go out into the countryside and pick up litter.
Yeah.
You're collecting and documenting crisps. Good on you. That's perfectly fine. But like, yeah.
Military discipline.
Yeah. He doesn't go into a YouTube hole, he goes into a crisp packet hole and starts wondering about the history of this packet of crisps. Not considering for a moment that maybe they were only sold last week, they were just expired.
Yeah.
It's my assumption. Poirot, I don't know. But yeah, it's me this week.
I had my first packet of Monster Munch in years the other day. They were all right.
Which year? What were they doing for the past 10 years?
I don't know. I didn't check the date on it, to be fair. But it's Monster Munch. I don't think much has changed. Although, I was never... I like the pickled onion ones, but I was never much of a fan. I think when I used to eat it when I was a kid, it was like beef and something, and that flavour's just disappeared off the planet. I can't find it now.
I always preferred the pickled onion, but it was a very rare crisp for me.
Yeah.
It was all right.
They're almost too big. They're obnoxiously big. I
think that's the selling point, isn't it?
Well, maybe.
Like
Yeah.
massive
I mean, yeah, you could have
hands.
Monster Munch and for it to just be like, oh, like it's got to make an impression.
Never had Space Raiders.
I used to
Are they
get Space
Sherbet?
Raiders,
I
but it
can't
was
remember.
just because they were like 10p, and now they cost the same as everything else.
Like a house.
No, the same as everything else.
Massive
The same
Space
as
Raider house.
the same as the other crisps. It's like Freddos. Freddos used to be a novelty because they were 10p, and now they cost the same as a normal chocolate bar. It's like, well, I'm not going to buy it just because it's shaped like a frog.
Yeah, I'm not frog mental.
No.
Just trying to be economic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's fair. It's fair enough.
Yeah.
You know, Monster Munch, polite dog shit trees.
Yeah.
Seems odd. Yeah, so weird and wonderful week.
Oh, that's good. All right. A few things from me. China has banned sissies. There are to be no more effeminate men on Chinese television.
Banned.
Banned.
Like banning death last week. We're also banning effemininity.
Yeah.
Stop it.
President Xi Jinping has called for a national rejuvenation with tighter Communist Party control of business, education, culture and religion. Companies and the public are under increasing pressure to align with its vision for a more powerful China and healthier society. And broadcasters must resolutely put an end to sissy men and other abnormal aesthetics, the TV regulator said, using an insulting slang term for effeminate men, Niang Pao, or literally girly guns. Apparently that's a...
Niang Pao sounds amazing.
Yeah.
It sounds like a punch that Batman would throw. It doesn't sound effeminate, but I guess in their language, maybe.
Girly guns. Again, it's a bit of a mixed message, that.
Yeah. It's so ridiculous. I mean, it's funny because I always find like... let's put it this way, right? I imagine if you make these insane illegal declarations, your society will change in some way. But like, it feels like it's just a result in more male suicides.
Yeah.
It's what it feels like. And not from effeminate people. I think everyone's got an effeminate side that they, get in touch with every now and then. I love a good musical, don't get me wrong. But if I couldn't like belt out, I've never sang Rent, but I don't know. If I couldn't belt out, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe the world would be a worse place.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's fair enough. I think everyone has that kind of
Mental.
side to them, and that's absolutely fine. I think the people I've seen talking about China's effort to make like cultural change have said it's kind of a reflection, like an opposite reflection of what's going on in the US. They said as men in the US get kind of like more effeminate and I don't know, pathetic, China has a want to make their men more masculine.
But like, what men are becoming more effeminate in America?
Oh,
are they talking about like the Twitter army?
Yeah, they're talking about woke idiots and male
online
feminists and soy boys and vegans and
the 0.001% of the population. Like, oh well, we're going to react to that.
Yeah,
like, making
but
it
also
entirely illegal.
Yeah, but also the big push to tell men like, oh, it's okay to cry and all of that. It's like, yeah, we know. Like,
but China says no.
Yeah, China says no. We need to abolish all of that, and men are to be men, because it's a push for them to be a more dominant global power.
They are the dominant global power, right?
More dominant global power.
More than themselves.
More.
Remember that time where we just didn't give you any of your medicine? Yeah. We're going to do that more.
More.
Do that on a bigger scale.
China.
We're keeping the rain.
Massive.
All right. Deal with it.
Rules that took effect on Wednesday limit anyone under the age of 18 to 3 hours per week of online games and prohibit play on school days. Did you hear about that one?
I saw that. I didn't read into it. I saw the article. It was like, it seemed like a weird
But it's
thing
another
to
one. It's
do.
part of the cultural change and everything. They're trying to stop the idolation of celebrity, like abolish all that. You like Kardashians? Fuck Kardashians. No.
Do you like Lego? Fuck off.
Yeah, but then with computer games, they're just like, well, it's not useful to our society, so you can do it for an hour a day. and that's it.
No, but of course, but again, it's the whole context argument. It's like, yeah, maybe like, I don't know, most computer games probably are like more bad for you. But you take like Grand Theft Auto, for example, the amount of self-awareness, map reading, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, not to run over the person that is the side quest.
Yeah.
Don't run them over. Don't kill them, because then you fail the mission. It's a good life lesson.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. I mean, I'm in the minority here because I was never. Apart from a few periods of my life, I was never really like a massive video game person. Like, I like them, but I don't play a lot of them. But like, I think if at any point in the recent times I was playing for an hour a day, that was probably a lot for me.
Well, I see it as more of like the way that society's going when it's being more remote and more online. And it just feels like computer games are going to eventually evolve into, you know, gardening, virtual reality gardening, where you're in your living room doing your gardening and there's a drone in your garden.
Well, yeah.
And like, it's just that whole, I mean, you did that whole like mobile, you know, like a day log that when you logged doing certain things, you got points or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, you gamifying
So, like,
your life, essentially. Yeah.
And I reckon they'll probably just do that with loads more stuff. I mean, like the amount of Euro trucking simulators there are, why not let them drive a truck?
Yeah.
You know, and obviously there'll be security stuff around it, but it's like you could probably get somebody to gamify all those kind of things. Well, so it seems weird to work against something that's growing.
That's the thing. It's kind of dumb. Like I understand
that's the drone program, isn't it?
Huh?
Like the drone program runs off of gamers. Yeah. I think that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Because that's how their interface works. You go, well, it's how things going to evolve into more stuff. But,
yeah. I mean, I understand I understand the whole banning sissies thing. It's not to say like I agree with it, but like the actual kind of through line of what they're saying. Like, okay, you trying to control a culture. Fine, like that makes sense. I don't agree with it at all, but there's a through line of common sense there. But the banning computer games thing is just like, well, I mean, when before computer games existed, you didn't limit the amount of time that people could read books for. You just like people still had leisure time. Not as much. I think people worked harder, like sort of 50, 60 years ago. Actually, I'm almost certain they did, but
Well, it just depends. Like it's the same as like prohibition. You go like that was an idea to ban alcohol, but it's impossible to police completely what people drink, let alone how people walk.
Yeah.
He's walking effeminately, put him in prison. It's not going to work. What are you doing? You know, that handshake was a little soft. Go to prison. I don't think this is like ever going to be justifiably used. It's going to be used corruptly, I guess. I guess that's, you know, why not if you're in a disagreement with someone in a business deal, have them put in prison for singing along in the car to a Beyonce song. Wow. No, well, that's our deal now. Your stock's going to plummet. It's going to be corrupt, I guess.
Yeah. In other news, only a short one, there's only one comment on it. The head of Russia's Communist Party has come forward with a shocking revelation this week that Jesus Christ was in fact the first communist.
Oh, that's good, isn't it?
Comrade Jesus.
Coincidence? Yeah, community of Jesus. Led by Comrade Jesus, controller of minds.
The main slogan of communism, he who does not work shall not eat, is written in the Apostle Paul's second epistle of Thessalonians, found in the New Testament. Didn't he give
loads of fish? He gave like loads of fish to the unemployed, didn't he?
Yeah, but then it was like a magic fish, which makes perfect sense if
that's
you're talking about communism. Oh yeah, we can feed everyone. We got magic food.
Yeah, we'll give everyone communism. Wine, and it won't be watered down because it'll be water to begin with.
Yeah. Yep.
Sounds fair. Sounds good.
In other news, the US government has launched an investigation into why the McDonald's ice cream machines are always broken.
All right.
The FTC... it was
top level security?
Yeah, it was odd to me that it had gone to that point. The government had been like, look, your ice cream machines are always broken. I want a milkshake.
I want answers.
Yeah. FTC has sent letters to McDonald's franchises this past summer regarding what's going on with their ice cream machines. McDonald's claims to understand the frustrations and has devoted a team to solving the issue, but still the franchise owners say that they're tired of being the butt of many jokes.
Okay.
I mean, I don't understand why it eats away at you that much.
Well, they pulled out of Afghanistan. I mean, they got to invade something, right?
McDonald's.
Invade McDonald's.
Invade ourselves. Yeah. Give us all your ice creams. There aren't any.
Why not?
Yeah.
What about McFlurry? No. Oh. I've seen that as like a buzzword YouTube video. As like loads of people have these conspiracy theories about it.
Yeah.
Never.
I watched quite an in-depth one actually a while ago. There's basically like, and I imagine it's sort of proven but covered up or just being ignored or whatever. But it's McDonald's has got a contract with another company that it owns in order to fix. This company supplies the ice cream machines, and they are made to be incoherent and pretty faulty. But McDonald's says to their franchisees, you have to have this ice cream machine because it's a franchise. Like, they can order what kind of equipment you use. So they sell these faulty machines to them, and every time they break down, the franchisees have to pay this other company to come and fix them, and that money goes back to McDonald's. It's essentially a weird kind of fucked up partnership that they've got with them.
Well, it's like, isn't that how McDonald's business works? Is they don't make that much money off the food. They make all their money off of the rent for the buildings.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's a real estate company rather than a restaurant company.
Yeah.
I think I've seen a few things about something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, why not invade it?
Yeah.
Get it to rights. Hang Ronald McDonald in the street. Like they did Saddam Hussein.
Yeah. In other news, US officials have stated that they are unsure of the whereabouts of Republican Congressman Markwayne Mullin, who went rogue to rescue people in Afghanistan.
Don't know where he is.
Congressman.
Afghanistan, I think. Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'll go deal with it.
Yeah. Like, if you're at a town hall meeting for your local thing, like, you have to get in. You want to get the parks cleaned up. There's too many old crisp packets there.
What was it? You were at like a dog show. Like the judge of the dog show just had to pop away.
Where is he? Afghanistan.
Yeah, he's rescued all those people. He'll be back in a minute.
The mayor has gone AWOL.
The mayor has invaded Afghanistan.
Markwayne Mullin has gone rogue to travel to Taliban-controlled Afghanistan on a rescue mission in the face of multiple warnings not to do so by the Pentagon and the State Department, and now nobody knows where he is. Mullin is not a veteran, but does have a pre-congressional career as a mixed martial artist. That's something.
Oh, he's been to Airsoft. That's probably fine.
Yeah. He knows he knows a bit of MMA. That's good against machine guns and that.
Yeah. Like ordnance, roadside IEDs, all that kind. He'll be fine.
Yeah. I mean, I understand it. It's like if you're in Congress, you're looking to like climb the ranks and everything. Like, what better than going to Afghanistan to clean up the shithole that the government's plunged it into, and come back with the heads of a load of Taliban people and like that'll get you some votes.
Yeah, but isn't like invading another country against the law or something they're at peace with? I think. Yeah. So he'll go to prison, but he'll get voted in.
But yeah,
good.
Yeah.
Grabbing them by the Taliban, to quote a presidential expression.
And finally, Taliban fighters are said to feel angry and betrayed by the US after discovering that military equipment left behind at Kabul airport have been disabled.
Oh, they turned off the fighter jets. Oh,
The
do you know how to turn them on? Not anymore. I know the old ones.
Decommissioned 27 Humvees and 73 aircraft before leaving Kabul airport on Monday to ensure that they can never be used again. They are disappointed, they are angry, and they say that they feel betrayed because all of the equipment is broken beyond repair, said the report. It added that the Taliban group expected the Americans to leave helicopters in one piece for them to use as the new government in charge of Afghanistan. So
well, it's just a weird thing, is they're the good guys now. So, like...
It's bullshit. They're not the good anything.
Well, they're the government. And they go there to start a government or something? I don't know. But it's like they've peacefully taken it. I don't think it's... Well... I don't think it was I think there was 5. Well, there were
bombings at the airport.
Advance.
There have been people beheaded. There was a video that I saw the other day of someone being hung from a helicopter.
Like a travelling circus.
Look
at our incredibly hanging man.
It's just chaos, and it's horrific, obviously, but like that's the funniest thing about watching like the press conferences of like, oh yes, we'll treat women correctly, they can get an education and everything. Meanwhile, there's someone hanging from a helicopter in the background.
But it's like, this is the government now. Like, I don't think it's
going to last. I think they're going to go back at some point, and it's just going to carry on.
Just like turning it off and then on again.
Yeah.
Getting everyone out.
There's plenty of tinfoil hat theories that say, well, they never wanted to leave in the first place, so leave in the worst place possible, and then we've got every justifiable excuse to send people back in, and that seems to be what's fucking happening.
Or just like the simple one of like, it's just too expensive, that it's not getting anything out of it, and it's just giving them PR relations. It's just like,
you've had 20 years. If you were trying to fix it, you would have lasted longer than the 2 days it took them to undo everything that you did.
Well, wasn't it like the forces that they trained to, look after people just didn't fight in the combat that started to... you win.
Yeah, just put down their weapons most of the time. And then the ones that did fight, there wasn't enough of them left. The numbers were inflated massively. I think they said they said, oh, they got 300,000 fighters, and it was actually something closer to like 10,000. Like, it's just, the whole thing's a fuck up, and I don't know too much about it. I just know that it's a massive fuck up.
I remember there was a thing I didn't look too much into about a guy who was like trying to rescue animals from Afghanistan.
Oh,
there was like people.
Yeah, there was a woman that's stuck over there. She's a US woman that's because they wouldn't let her fly the animals back, and I think she's got like 130 dogs or something like that. And it's like, I mean, I'm 100% team dog, like totally get it, and I completely understand why you'd stay behind. But I also understand why in an emergency evacuation thing, like when they're leaving people behind, why they're not taking the dogs.
Well, it's like there's babies on the barbed wire fences bleeding to death, and you're like, yeah, but I want to take this budgerigar. Yeah. Like, can I just do that instead of that dying baby?
Yeah.
Like,
what if I tie it to the side of the plane, just so it knows where it's going?
Yeah, let's put it on a leash. Yeah. If we can hang people from helicopters, we can tie budgies to planes.